Good morning. I am doing Friday morning coffee this morning from my home office, as I do every week. But the difference this week is that my kids are at home because school got out last week in Georgia and camp for my kids starts next week. So I've got them at home with me this week, which has been a lot of fun. But obviously some things are made a little bit more difficult, especially when it comes to making videos for your social media series. So don't mind the Little Mermaid playing in the background, or if you hear blocks falling over, that's just, working mom life. And I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there that can relate. So anyway, today I want to talk about this document. This is something that I touched on a little bit last week, but this is the Community Association Fees, Disclosures, and Related Issues document. And I want to preface this by saying, as always, this document, as well as everything that I'm going to discuss today, are specific to our real estate laws here in the state of Georgia. If you're not in Georgia, you may have something similar, you may not. I don't know what the laws are in every state, so definitely consult with an agent in your area. And know that if you are selling a home in a homeowners association neighborhood, that this is a very, very important document, and this is why. Last week, I had a closing on Friday afternoon, and on Wednesday afternoon when we got our settlement statement, and I was representing the buyer in this transaction, by the way, and we got our settlement statement Wednesday afternoon, and there was a $1,000 HOA fee that was listed on the buyer's side for the buyer to pay that we had no idea existed. And I mean, this is $1,000. This is $1,000 more dollars that this buyer was responsible for sending on the day of closing or the day before closing when they wire their down payment and their closing costs and everything else. I mean, this is a huge amount of money. So how do we avoid this, and what happens in this case? I mean, there has to be some protection for buyers to not be surprised like this on the day of closing. Well, there is, and it's this document right here. So basically what this document is, on the first page, you're just going to be giving all of the HOA information. What kind of association is it? Who is the contact person, and all of that stuff. But the second page is where we get into all of the fees. So you have initiation fee, transfer fee, new account fee to transfer common area fobs and such, and then other fees. And the most important sentence in this entire document, if you are a seller, is this. So this sentence says, if a fee is not accurately disclosed below or is left blank, the seller shall pay the difference between what was disclosed and the actual fee owing. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a fee, if your HOA is going to charge a buyer a fee, an upfront fee on the day of closing, and it is not listed on this document, it is your responsibility as the seller to pay that fee. So this now, knowing that sometimes we have surprise $1,000 fees, this becomes a very, very, very important document for you as a seller. So how do you avoid this? And this is what I like to tell my sellers when I'm meeting with people and they're starting to get their house ready to put on the market and they're starting to work on the paperwork and the disclosures. This document is so important that you get it right. And how do you get it right? Call your HOA and don't just say to them what fees are associated with or what fees is the buyer going to be responsible for up front. Go through each of these and ask them, is there a transfer fee? Is there an initiation fee? Is there a new account fee? Is there a fee to transfer the fobs? Is there any other fee, capital contribution, anything else that a buyer may be responsible for on the day of closing? It needs to be on this document, because if it's not, it's going to be your responsibility as the seller to pay it. And believe me, there is nothing worse 2 days before closing than a surprise. Nobody wants a surprise 2 days before closing. The seller doesn't, the buyer doesn't, the agents don't. And so just avoid that by making sure that this document is correct. It's very, very important. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend and great week, and I will be back next week. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. We'll see how the coming week goes, and maybe I'll get inspiration with something that comes up this week. So anyway, have a good one. Bye.